Okay, I think I've heard that sound, so I think we're good to go. Hi everybody, thank you for joining us this evening. So as you guys know, we have new programs, and one of our new programs is the PM Acceleration Program. So I don't know if you guys saw our post, but what we're trying to do is to do every single thing that would help support PM careers. So you're thinking about like your CV, your LinkedIn interview preparations, everything around that. And the very first event that we're doing to support that program is our LinkedIn event. And we have our one and only Folakemi Oladimeji Obed with us in the call today. So Folakemi is a global talent acquisition consultant. Anytime I say that, it's like the room starts shaking. So I'm going to say that again. Folakemi is a global talent acquisition consultant with 5 years of experience helping organizations attract, develop, and retain exceptional talent. So she works at Propel currently, and at Propel, she connects African tech professionals within thriving tech communities to global opportunities through strategic partnerships with leading companies, including people in products. So she's passionate about people, passionate about culture, and also passionate about building workspaces where both, can truly thrive and grow. So we have Folakemi with us today to help us shaping our LinkedIn and make sure that, we're getting noticed and recruiters are reaching out to us and we're getting hired. So I will just hand the mic over. Please clap for her. Now, only like 2 people are clapping. Are you people not happy to be in the presence of a global talent? Yeah, thank you for
having me.
Thank you very much for having me. And as always, people in product is always that vibey, interesting and exciting community to be around with. Thank you for having me. I want us to have good time to ask questions. I'm sure some of us have already been engaging on LinkedIn and probably not converting as you expect. So I'd love to take questions. I'll just quickly run through my slides and just show us 1 or 2 things that I've put together and also share a bit of my experience. Like I was sharing with Princess and I've forgotten the other person's name. What did you say?
Toby.
Toby.
Yeah,
Toby earlier. Sorry, I said what Princess. How LinkedIn has really been a good career body for me in the past 5 years. My first job was through LinkedIn. This current job through LinkedIn. I've also gotten interviews from LinkedIn just by making sure that my profile is not just optimized, but also engaging meaningfully. The very first thing you need to do, I'll go and share my slide, but I just wanted to just do a quick highlight, is that you need to understand your why, right? As we all know, everyone here, you're either an aspiring product manager or you're currently a product manager. So before you set out on a journey, there are some metrics, product roadmap, and all of those things that you guys do. So we'll be talking slightly from a product POV and seeing your LinkedIn profile as your products yourself, right? So please confirm as soon as you can see my screen.
I can see.
Awesome. Yeah, so I want us to drop something in the chat box. How many of us, you'll be surprised that people don't have LinkedIn profiles, right? So how many of us on this call? We are 31. Let's say minus 4 of us, myself, Toby, and Princess, and Bridget. How many of us have LinkedIn profiles? So I want to know if we are actually starting from the scratch, like how to create a profile. Or okay, if I can get 10 more persons, 8 more persons aside from here. Oh, okay. You're 1 step closer. You're 1 step awesome. You people are ready now. Everybody has. Awesome. So let's get started. Right. Like is already introduced, my name is Folakemi. I'm currently the ecosystem and growth analyst at Propel, and I have over 5 years of experience ranging across different roles in talent acquisition and growth, right? And I'm a LinkedIn product, how will I say, So the first thing I want us to note is that you are the products, your LinkedIn profile is the product you are currently selling as part of your career toolkit, right? And why does LinkedIn really matter for you as a product manager, saying that we are in a product community? over 90% of recruiters, including myself, use LinkedIn for their candidate discovery. I would say 10 out of 10 recruiters, if you put them in a room and you ask them that what are the tools they use in talent acquisition and all, believe you me, the first two tools they'll mention will be LinkedIn. I'm not seeing myself, so it's feeling pretty much weird. Okay, please just let me know, leave a comment or drop a message if you can't hear me. I'm currently not seeing my screen currently. Yeah. Out of 10 of them, LinkedIn is actually one of the tools that they use in filling roles, in reaching out to potential talents to join their company, or they're putting someone for their clients, right? A quick thing to also note is that your LinkedIn profile isn't just a resume, like something you just dump all your experience and then you zoom out and you're hoping that some magic should happen, right? It's like your product marketing page, right? And what are you selling? You're selling your skills, you're selling your experience, you're selling your exposure, you're selling everything about you and the value that you have to offer your potential clients and even your potential employers, right? And one thing I've come to realize is that great PMs, that is great product managers, don't wait for opportunities to happen to them, they attract them, right? There's a saying here in Nigeria, I'm sure many of us will, it said, if mountain does not come to Mohammed, Mohammed will go to mountain, right? So there are cases where it's your profile that is attracting people, right? And there's also another place where you're the ones going to people's DM meaningfully. And then one thing I've noticed that when you enter people's DM, the first thing they do before they respond to you is to check your profile, right? And I've noticed that 8 out of 10 times when I reach out to people in their DMs, of course, with meaningful messages, the first thing they do is that they check my profile. And as you already know, LinkedIn will tell you, Princess checked your profile a few minutes ago. Toby checked your profile 2 minutes ago. And I'll just tell us a little bit of story. I remember in 2022, when I was reaching out, when I was open to opportunities, I wanted to leave my former place of work. My first job was through LinkedIn. And as Princess mentioned earlier, LinkedIn is a possibility platform. It is that platform that you are in Akure or you are in Kano. You can see jobs that are over there in UK, in Canada, in India. And I have friends that are actually living in places that you think people who are working remotely, people who are working in India or even the UK, maybe people there don't get to see those kind of opportunities. But because of the skill they have and they are able to tell their stories properly, people are reaching out to them by what? Because they have the skill, and they don't only have the skill, they are positioning themselves rightly on the right platform. Just a few highlights of what you need to do, or what you need to know when everyone here has said, I have a LinkedIn profile. What are key things that I need to pay attention to on my LinkedIn profile to at least position me in such a way that when anybody, it could even be a potential employer, probably a CEO is looking for someone for their team. They don't have a recruiter yet, and they just want to see people that sort of aligned with their dream, with their dream and dream team, and want to reach out to them. The first thing is your headline, right? I'm sure many of us have an idea of what the headline on LinkedIn is. It's that part that is underneath your profile picture, right? And of course, you don't want to ignore your profile picture, right? I've seen very interesting profile pictures on LinkedIn, right? Where, of course, these days, you don't even need to go to the studio. You have your AI, you have your tools that you can even beg someone to take a picture of you on their iPhone. It's not something that you need to plan a shoot for, right? Your LinkedIn bio is very, very important. And I'm sure some of the people that I know on this call, when I see their pages, I'm like, oh, this person is really, really killing it with this, right? Another thing to note is that for your headline, you can easily just tell a story of what you're about. Some people take advantage of this to tell the story of the things that they've done or the skills that they've handled in the past, right? When a recruiter wants to recruit for a PM, the first thing they do is to type keywords that aligns with that role on their search bar, and LinkedIn brings up potential candidates that can suit the role that you're recruiting for. So imagine as a product manager, your profile does not have the keywords or the lingua of a product person. I'm sure many of us here understand SEO to some degree, marketing and all of those things, right? You are a product manager, you should know the language of product people. Just as I'm a recruiter, or I have a bit of experience in business development, I should know the keywords that aligns with my own area of expertise, right? So your header is very, very important in highlighting your skills or what your mission is. You could also use that place to express your mission statement, right? For instance, what I have here, a PM driving growth through data and customer empathy, right? So you can make sure to utilize that space. It's for you to use, it doesn't have to be blank, right? Number two is the about section. The about section is that place where you can express yourself, right? For me, on my LinkedIn profile, it's a story of where I'm coming from in terms of my career, where I'm currently at, and what I aspire to, right? You can take advantage of that about section to give a narrative of what you have been doing. It could also be a time for you as an aspiring product manager. You're currently in a boot camp, you've acquired some skills, you've done some projects, but you're probably still at that place where because life has to continue, you need money, you're probably still a designer at the moment. You can use the opportunity to tell your story, and stories stories sell. People want to be able to connect with you, be connect with the person behind the profile, right? So you can also tell a story of what problems exactly you're solving. As a product manager that I currently follow on LinkedIn, is a senior product manager in AfriChange. I really love his profile. And to be honest, I always look forward to working with him some time in the future, right? He tells stories with data, right? It just picks up a topic that is probably trendy in the business space and shares things from a product manager perspective, right? That kind of person. I recently saw yesterday. I saw that he had gotten a scholarship and all, and this is because people have seen that this person knows what he's doing. And later on in our conversation, I will show you how optimizing your profile can bring about visibility, and visibility bringing about credibility, where people know that, oh, this person should be able to do this based on what they've shared over time. Number three is your experience. Yeah, many people usually just dump their PM in money points and just disappear, right? While this might work for some people, it is important not to put yourself in a place where your experience does not share, at least, or give an highlight of what you've done at your current or previous workplace, right? Instead of dumping your job duties, so I'm a product manager, I lead product roadmap, I lead strategy, you can follow the framework of impact, metrics, and not just duty. And metrics, you can also talk about the results, right? You did this, you built a product, or you led a team of developers, you built XYZ products, solving XYZ, and this was the revenue or the impact that it came about for your company or the people that team that you worked with, right? This is basically just showing or leveraging the STAR approach that they always talk about in interviews, right? S is the situation, T is the task, and then with the results, just working people and giving them context to what you're sharing, right? Number four, where people usually ignore, is the feature section. This section features images, links, or case studies and articles that you've contributed to or that you've single-handedly handled. That way, pictures tell story, right? Beyond the words that you're able to type. It could even be a YouTube channel, right? Where you're seen doing something related to product management, right? It's somewhere after your about section on LinkedIn, where you can share articles, product launches that you've done in the past. It could even be yourself talking about product management or something related during an event, just showing people that this person is able to do this thing, because we live in a world where a company in India is looking for somebody in Africa to work with them, but they are not here, so they need to be able to trust this person from the track record. Another thing that I didn't put here that is very important is the excuse me, sorry, is the recommendation. Recommendation is that part where you display or showcase people that you've worked with in the past, giving reviews about their experience with you, right? This should be something really anyone would want to give, especially if you've been a good team member. That's why it's good to be a good person, right? So you can easily reach out to your former team lead, your former colleague, your former boss. Just write something about their work experience with you, and I'm sure anyone that has worked with you and enjoy your work will gracefully want to write something good. Just as many of us are product managers here, you always want your customers to write good reviews or any review at all about your product, and that gives you credibility, and people know, okay, this product has 4 star, it has 5 star, it has 3 star. I want to engage and I want to use it. You can give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're following and if I'm making sense at all, which of course I am. So yeah, but I just want to feel the pulse. All right. So how do you build visibility and credibility on LinkedIn? As the funnel that you can see on my screen, on your screen, visibility, trust, opportunities, right? So it's a funnel. It doesn't just land on your lap, right? It's also a good place to mention that there are some exceptions, right? For instance, there are some companies that you work with that naturally you might not even have an optimized profile, but recruiters will reach out to you because you are in that company. And the reason I say this is because I remember when I was still very much in consulting, when we want to recruit for accountants and then tax people, we know where to go. Your profile does not even need to be optimized because of the credibility of your company, right? The big force, of course, we go to those places. But if you've not been privileged to work with companies that their brands are well known and people already know the quality, the so-called quality of employees that they have, you would want to put your best foot forward. Yoruba would always say, "Eni to ba niyan," like it means if you don't have somebody, if you don't have a godfather, you would want to double down on some things that a nepo babe might not bother him. Right. Number one is engage weekly. Right. I know that there are some of us that are introverts, which means you are not that kind of person that likes to share about yourself. It's okay. Right. One thing I tell people is that you don't necessarily need to leave your comfort zone to be another person. There are different ways to go about these things. But the thing that I've always stand with is that if you want to do great things in life, you have to do things that are above and beyond you, right? Number one, engage weekly on LinkedIn. You don't need to always type, right? It could be you are in Princess's posts because she's always talking about product management or those interesting topics that are of interest to her. You can drop a comment, right? Comment on what she's talked about, or any product person at all that you like their vibe, right? Just pick 1 or 2 things from their posts. We even right now, if your profile is on creator mode, you can always turn that on your settings. LinkedIn will show you statistics on the things that you need to do per week for your profile to be seen. I think right now you have to take 3 actions, post 3 or 2 times a week, um, comments on about 3 or 2 persons in a week, 3 or 2 posts in a week. LinkedIn also is just trying to push people to take actions to make your profile seen in the right places, right? You could also share learnings. Every one of us are in that position where you have something to share. Every one of us has something to share. Don't ever put yourself in that place where you think, I don't have anything to say. If you don't have anything to say, why did your employer hire you? Right? The fact that you are even hired, it means you are of value, right? So it could be something that one of the developers did and you provide a solution to. It could be a difficulty you were having with the designer. It could be something like we overthink these things sometimes and feel like people would not listen to us. The truth is, yes, some people may not cater, your content may not cater to some people, but there are a million other persons that really want to hear from you, right? And of course, there's beauty in our diversity, right? So share your learnings. The beauty of sharing your learnings and people watching you grow and building in public is that they are able to vouch for you, even in moments when you're when you're not in the room. Case in point, I remember in 2021, the first ever speaking engagement I got was for someone who I never knew from anywhere. She had almost never commented on any of my posts, and she trusted me to undo a topic for her during International Women's Day. And this person went ahead to even recommend me for a job in a company which I interviewed for. I didn't get it, but the fact that someone who I've never met, who till today I've never met, and we've only talked about the phone, it was very encouraging for me. And it has made me also connect with people beyond just their profiles and connecting with them even in their DMs, right? Number two is create mini thought leadership posts around your PM experience. Like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be all flashy and rosy and all. It could be a pain point that you have. It could be a review of a product that you saw and you think something can be better, so a functionality can be better, or a feature can be better. Before you know it, people start coming around you like, oh, it seems when you console and feed, they have the vibe I love. And before you know, people come to your DM, oh, Ivy, please, I'm having difficulties in this. Can we come together to do it? Before you know it, you already want superstar. What did you do? You're only sharing what you know how to share. But it's not that deep, right? I just want us to demystify that. Yes, LinkedIn has its people on LinkedIn are also the people on Twitter. They're also the people on Instagram. They're also the people on Facebook, right? Even though we like to segment, to put segments, say this, me, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, it's only TikTok that I'm not doing. So LinkedIn is that place where it's the land of the free. You can do with it whatever you want. Number three is follow PM voices and communities that align with your career path. There's people in products, one step forward, you're already here, right? There's product school. There are a lot of product management communities, product dive, a lot of them out there. You don't need to join their inner circle, but just follow those accounts. And what does that do? The algorithm studies your action over time and begin to suggest people in that space to you. And that means if people in the mistake people make is that instead of you connecting with a diverse pool of people, you streamline yourself to either following only recruiters when you're not an HR person, right? You're following only recruiters. You're some go the extreme of following only product managers. But the truth is, having a diverse pool, even I myself, my LinkedIn account is so mixed that you could almost think I'm a developer, right? Because these are the people that I need. I also have people that I also in FMCG and all, right? At some point, I stopped accepting connections from HR professionals because I felt that it was mixing up with my pool, right? So you need to be intentional with how you handle your profile. Just as you will be intentional about people that come into your space, even offline. You don't make friends with just anyone. Nothing. You're not trying to be what's that word? You're not trying to be um antisocial, right? You're just trying to clean up your space for what you want. People will always gravitate around what looks like success, right? So you know where you're going, you know what you want to have. You can't have a pool that is not benefiting you, right? So connect with voices both in Nigeria, both outside Nigeria, everywhere. I'll give you an assignment today if you've not done already. I want you to go on your LinkedIn profile, make a search. No, go on Google, make a search for the top 10 PM voices in Nigeria. Look for them on LinkedIn and follow all of them. Second assignment, make a search for the top 10 global voices in product management and follow all of them on LinkedIn, right? That way, you're already teaching your algorithm and you're also increasing your knowledge bank, right? There are many things that you think you know that you actually don't know, right? The way they're doing product management in Nigeria will be different from how they do it in the UK, right? You see, Princess is nodding, she's in the UK, she knows, So, so the way they do things there, and we're in a global world right now, it's good to have a very, very diverse and dynamic understanding of sphere. The last one is use content to signal what you want next, right? I know people who, through their content, they've been able to form a pool of recruiters reaching to them, right? I know some companies have that policy where you don't talk about your ambitions or something on LinkedIn. There are very interesting ways to talk about it, right? One thing I've noticed is that when you create content around the things you love, people will gravitate and see you as a thought leader around that thing, right? There was a time, I think 2023, 2022, I got a lot of recruiters reaching out to me to join their team, either as HR manager or recruiter, because I was always really talking about recruitment, candidate experience, and all at the time. Right now, I'm very, very busy. I still do, but not as I used to, right? Use your content to signal and to let people know what you're good at, the skills you have, the technologies that you've worked with, and all that. On the final notes, please be wrapping up with your questions. I want us to know that your LinkedIn profile is not static. Just as the way you are evolving, just like the way you are growing, your LinkedIn profile, the words that you use and everything can be refined over time. The way my LinkedIn profile is currently isn't the way it was last year or a year ago or 2 years ago. Especially for my about page, I've reviewed and reviewed and reviewed it to align with where I am currently and possible positions that I'm looking forward to, companies and positions that I'm looking forward to. As you grow, you just keep refining your story, showcasing your impact, and connecting with purpose. I can't overemphasize that. Purpose, purpose, purpose. You don't need to do what others are doing to trend. You know why you are there. You know what you're looking for. And that way, you're not pressuring yourself to always create content, to always comment, to the extent that I've seen people comment on my post and you see that ask ChatGPT, this person went to copy, comment, and post here. It's not like it's bad, but you can always have ways to do these things, right? And I wanted to ask him that, bros, did you bring this in from chat? But I don't want to embarrass the guy. I just understand the hustle. Everybody's hustling, and number 2 is visibility attracts purpose, but credibility keeps them coming, right? I'm sure if you're looking at it from a product point POV, you know that these things resonate, right? You don't need to zoom out of your product management ideologies just because it's linked. You can always adapt that into how you see your LinkedIn profile. When you're visible, more opportunities come to you. And when more opportunities come to you, in that way, you can even get the recruiters that you've interviewed with and you didn't get to work with, refer you to other companies, because that's what we do. There's a recruiters hub of over 200 people that I know right now, and people refer people like every now and then, right? Or even pitch their candidates to other recruiters, right? So you want to be credible, not that you're very good with content on LinkedIn. We now invite you for interview. What we order versus what we saw, right? So you don't want to be like that. Lastly, start today. I've given us assignment already. Follow top 10 PM professionals in Nigeria, top 10 PM professionals globally, and just move on from there. And the thing is, once you follow those people, you can go and check your connection lineup. You will see that LinkedIn would now be suggesting other PMs globally to you. Update one section at a time. You can say today, I want to focus on my about profile. Leverage ChatGPT, but at least you need to give it good prompts for it to sound like you and to also make sure that it is authentic, right? Share one post. You might not even need to be the one to create the post, but you can curate posts. How do you create posts? You can leave posts out from somebody else's profile and post on yours, but giving them credit, right? Maybe you saw something that resonates with you somewhere. Oh, this thing makes sense. You bring it to your audience and you give the owner credit, right? Another thing is that reach out to a new connection at a time, right? You might think it doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, the notes, the LinkedIn connection notes now has reduced to 5 per month. It used to be limitless, but LinkedIn is hustling for money as well, so they've reduced it, right? So you need to be able to meaningfully connect with people, send a note, oh hi, princess, I went through your profile, or the algorithm suggested your profile to me, I've gone through your, and I love what you do, would you mind to connect? That way that person is like, okay, this person is really wanting to connect, and not, you're not just pressing accept, connect, accept, like you're not just pressing randomly, right? So you connect with people meaningfully before small actions compound, right? Today you connect with this person, tomorrow you connect with this person, you connect with this person. You're building a chain of connections, right? So thank you very much. I hope I've been able to convince us that LinkedIn is a land of possibilities, irrespective of where you are around the globe.
Thank you so much, Folakemi. Please, guys, show her some love while we get our questions ready. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat, or you can use the activity tool to, so click on that icon very close to the padlock. You would see question and answer. You can ask there, and you can ask anonymously if you don't want your name to show in the chat. And you can also, raise your hand, and we'll form a queue, and you would ask your question. I know that this is over the top, and she also mentioned at the beginning that she will run through her slide and just answer questions, because it will be more interactive and even more useful to you, because it will solve your own problem. Hi, Farouk, your hands are up, or your hand is raised. You can go ahead and ask your question. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi, Farouk.
Good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening.
very much for the insightful session. I mean, it's not just interactive. I mean, it's not just interesting, it is educative as well. Thank you very much for everything. So,
Thank you, sir.
I actually have two questions anyway. So, the first one is that my LinkedIn account, I've been building this LinkedIn account since 2021, but last year, I think around December last year or this year, January. So I just got a notification that my account was compromised. So I don't actually know how it happened, anyways. And then I tried to. So later on, I got to discover that someone hacked my account, and the person was trying to change the password. So LinkedIn noticed that activity, that it is being compromised. So LinkedIn could not allow the person to change the account, the password successfully. And I, that owns the account, I was unable to access the account. So now all the attempts of getting the account back that LinkedIn has been suggesting to me through using NIN, through voters card, it has not been. In fact, I have not been able to recover the account. So I want to ask that, what can I do to actually recover that account? Because I have, in fact, I've built meaningful connection with that account, and I although I have alternative one, but I don't even know how to start with that one, because.
Okay. Are you done?
Okay, so now my other question is this. My second question is this: when the account was actually active, I was reaching out to some people. Then I don't know if I was actually doing it right. And then someone actually put out a job post about fintech. And then, although I've not worked with fintech before, so someone now tagged me on that post. So I had to reach out to the person that posted it, that okay, I can actually work with you as a PM. But the person said, when the person now checked through my profile, the person told me by himself that he did not see something like fintech in my experience. But I now said, for me not to look, and I mean, for me not to be somehow anyhow, I just told the person that truly I don't have experience, but I told the person my capability, I mean, what I can do that can actually make me to actually do the work perfectly. But ever since then, the person did not reach out to me again. So I want to ask that, how can I actually position myself for something like that next time? So far, something like that is not my what's called profile.
Okay. There are two questions. So the first one is about your LinkedIn profile that has been hacked and shut down. You're a product person, so communities have guidelines, and you rightly mentioned that LinkedIn notified you several times that something was unusual was happening in your account. I might not be able to give the technical response to that, but To safeguard your LinkedIn account, you want to activate your two-factor authentication, 2FA, right? That way, you, I think you've already done. That's why you get the notification, right? The 2FA
Yes.
is, and in a case where you are not a regular LinkedIn user, when LinkedIn sends these notifications to you severally and you don't respond, they are bound to close it down. Another thing you can leverage is to reaching out to their support. One thing I appreciate about people in the Western world is that most of them are very responsive when it comes to customer support, and you making your plea in such a way that they understand your POV, right? Another part that you can leverage is to reach out to someone that actually works in technical team in LinkedIn. And the reason I said this is because about 2-3 years ago, I I missed an exam. I was not allowed to write an exam, a global exam here in Nigeria. The company is in the US, and I had to make a plea. Everyone told me that it was not going to be possible for me to get a refund or a receipt. I'll have to pay. But after appealing, um, I was granted the opportunity to write again without making payments. Right. So I don't want you to give up on that account. Make an appeal, send an email, or even respond to that email that was reaching out to you. I hope you get your LinkedIn profile back. And if you don't, you can always start over again. It's not the end of your life, it's the end of that profile. Just build something else somewhere, and along the line, they might restore that. To the other question, I want you to know that human beings have biases, right? Before a role is posted out or advertised, a company already has a set rules, requirements that they want the person that would be occupying this role should have, right? And for you to be able to align yourself with that, you're supposed to be able to look at that job description and the job requirement and align your skills to it. As you already know, I was mentioned earlier, I'm the ecosystem and growth analyst and Propel, which means my current profile on LinkedIn says ecosystem and growth, but I've gotten interviews for programs management. I've also gotten interviews for recruiting partner just this year alone. And why? This and how, sorry, in my pitch, once I see a recruiter or anyone post about a job that I like, the first thing I do is to reach out to them in their DM, right? In a case where the DM is locked, you have a LinkedIn connection request notes of less than 300 characters. You need to be able to summarize your experience or summarize your intention of wanting to connect with them in that 200 character. The problem is that people think the more words they're able to put together, the more they're able to convince the other person on the other hand. It is not true, right? Your profile does not have anything relating to product management or the industry. You should be able to highlight at least one thing that you've done relating to that. That can also can get you catch that person's attention and just want to give you audience or jump on a call with you. Like the first thing you want to do with your CV, with your profile, with anything at all is to at least get yourself through the door and explain yourself, right? But if you're not able to lock in on that, the other person is also reaching out to 10 other persons, right? 50 other persons. What should stand you out? You want to lock in on that, putting your best foot forward. I like that one experience that is relating and key to what they have posted about, or else they might not want to give you another. So consider that in your next approach. Someone makes a post. Look at the things that looks as if they are the key things on there, and assess your own skill and push it to them, and see how that lands. I hope I'm able to help.
All right.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll take Shawa's question and also questions in the chat. Shawa, you can go.
All right, thank you, Princess. Thank you for that. This was a great session and I learned a lot. But yes, but I have a question, right? So I want to believe that LinkedIn cold email is like a LinkedIn optimization strategy, right? So now my question is, how do I leverage cold emails on LinkedIn to my advantage, right? How do I make it a superpower, basically?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, while we were talking, I was trying to search for some of my code emails that I've converted. I can't really remember the names of these persons. I've also leveraged some of my marketing tools to get people's email on LinkedIn and send them personal emails. You can also leverage that as well. So for cold emails, one thing I know you have to lock in on, the first thing is your subject line, right? It's all marketing. It's whether we like it or not, we are all marketers and salespeople, selling yourself, selling your skills. Right. The first thing you need to note is to be very, very flexible with your subject line. I've explored subject lines such as your next talent partner, like the talent partner you're looking for, or the best something something for the company and all of that. Something that catches people's attention and make them just want to open this thing and say, who is this audacious person, right? The worst thing they will do is not to open it, but at least you made an attempt, right? So your subject line needs to be very catchy, needs to be, you could even make it fun, right? They can't come and beat you at home, right? You just make it fun, make it engaging and worth clicking. And after that is done, or even before that, one thing I also do is to check on who the hiring manager is or somebody within that company that looks like a decision maker, and look for something online that they've probably engaged in recent times. It could be they've been at an event, or they even had a milestone that they just celebrated, or they had an award they just received. I take that as, oh, I saw you did this recently. Congratulations. Oh, there was one CEO that I saw that he celebrated his newborn on Twitter, and it was at an event. I chipped that in. Before I know, the guy was like, oh, interesting. Reach out to this recruiter in my company to interview and all, right? Make it personal. People want to know that they are not speaking or interacting with robots, right? You don't need to be honest, you don't need a long page of I am the Kiniko of the Kiniko. You need to be able to connect with them, connect with their story, and form that first person connection with them, right? So after you've done that, oh, you don't need to do, hi, my name is Adeshewa. I am interested in the role of 100 people are also writing the same thing. So stand out, right? I, Folakemi, I saw that you recently got awarded for a GPHR. Congratulations. I you then you can now talk about the role and how you align with it, and you can even put a CTA of, oh, when will be convenient to have an interview to discuss this role with you. Like, just make it very, very relaxed, something they would want to open. You can always leverage ChatGPT. Do a draft, like just draft something out and share with ChatGPT, telling it, oh, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm applying for this role. I want to send an email to this person. You don't need to share the full details, but just paint a picture. And before you know it, trying it 1, 2, 3 times, it comes natural to you. Right now, when I see a role and I look at the hiring manager, I just naturally just type something and just put it into a fine structure, and most of the time, at least about 70%, I get a response for either yes or no. At least I tried, I attempted, right? I hope that works.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you too.
Yeah, and you can always go and hold Folakemi's leg on LinkedIn if it did not work.
Yes, please come to me.
Yes.
You could probably be seeing a role.
So Folakemi, while I read the next question, you can put your link in the chat so they can start connecting with you. So the next question is from Sharon. We'll just quickly discuss. I think there are like 2 more questions I want to run through. So Sharon says, what kind of documentation would you like to see when checking for a new PM or entry-level PM, especially if the entry-level PM doesn't have any experience, just even after taking all necessary courses? So they've taken courses, they don't really have any experience. What kind of things do you want to see on their LinkedIn profile?
Okay. I think aspiring professionals in any field usually think they are powerless. And one thing I always say to them is, you are not powerless, especially that you have a whole lot of tools right now to explore, right? You've gone through a training. During that training, for instance, let's say it's not with them, let's say it's PIP community, a boot camp. I'm sure you have capstone projects that you probably did with a few people. People usually, aspiring professionals usually throw or undermine the importance of those pet projects and mini assignments that they've done, documenting them in your portfolio. Your portfolio doesn't have to be something grand. It could be a what's it called, PDF, or a Google Drive somewhere. You're just storing the project that you've contributed to, or even pet projects that are not live, but you've I just want to see that you've moved from point A, you've moved a product from ideation to maybe not live, but then you have a case study that looks like, oh, this person can think through something, right? The challenge is that aspiring professionals usually look at those who already have 10, 15 years of experience and wondering, oh, how do I get there? Start small, right? You're looking for, how do you think through your product roadmap? How do you think through different kind of product that you've engaged with? You're going through a boot camp, you have other learners with you. How about forming a group with 1 or 2 people? Think through something and just create it. Add it in your portfolio. I don't want to know if it's live or not, but I just want you to be able to defend it, right? You are not without skill, right? It's just the way you think about it. And same thing applies to when most of us finish university. We always think we have to start all over again. No, you don't need to start over again. You're still leveraging on things that you've learned, but applying it in a different direction, right? So create profiles using all of the tools and technologies that we have available now. Reach out to other learners like yourself to create a group, creating a product. Reach out to your fellow developer friends, project managers. Tell them you want to try out something, right? You want to try out a product. And if they're your friends and they really care about you, they will just want to give you that audience. Just give it the timeline of 1 month. I want to build a product that this, and put it in your portfolio. You will see that it would at least put your foot forward, and you can begin to pitch that to potential companies, potential recruiters, potential senior product managers like Princess, and they could be your gate to your next opportunity. Take a chance on yourself.
Thank you so much. If you're here, Sharon, you can let us know if that answers your question. If you have a follow-up one, you can unmute and speak or just type in the chat. Also, I see that Beulah Land Ignatius also said some things that aligned with what Folakemi said. Case studies, product tear down, build an MVP, learn in public as well. So as you're learning, you're saying, oh, I just finished this boot camp you said you did, this online course you said you did. Who knows about it? Is it just you and your family people? Like, we need to know as well. So even if you don't have that first PM experience, people should come to your profile and see things around, product management. Thank you very much, Beulah Land. So this question is from Anselm Kadiri. What are the best strategies for going further with people after connecting with them? I think you already mentioned stuff around this, but maybe just like an overhead, very short summary to this, just to reiterate the point.
Awesome. The first thing is LinkedIn has already made the provision for that. There's a AI suggestion when you connect to someone for the first time, the I something, but you can make it more personalized. Maybe you saw something on their profile that interests you. It could be a picture, it could be a post they made in the past, or you just saw something that interests you. Like for me, if I don't know you personally and probably want to connect with you, of course, we'll probably have something in common. It could be the company that you work in, or something you said. I would definitely reference that particular thing. And of course, I've tried just clicking on connect and connecting with people, but one thing they do first is to check my profile to be sure that this person is worth connecting with, right? So you've connected with Princess, you should probably just leave a message. Hi, Princess, thank you for connecting with me. I found your profile interesting. I would love to connect with you and stay in touch on the long run. Best regards. We are not begging for anything. We are not trying to make it fun, but this person would probably respond to you. If they don't, you can always write on that in the coming days. Still marketing. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question, Anselm. You can let us know, unmute and speak, or put in the chat. So we just have a few minutes, so I'm just going to run through these questions here. If your question is not answered, you can send your questions to Folakemi on LinkedIn, please. Her LinkedIn is in the chat. Please just use it to connect with her, so in case we don't get to your question. Vicky says, can you please give us an example of a pitch that is unique and not easily overlooked? I think you already started this when you were talking to Shewa about saying something about the person first before even going to yourself, but maybe if you have a sample, I don't know if you would want to share something, or maybe just give a brief, a minute overview on how like a pitch that is unique can be?
I've been trying to look for one, but I've sort of forgotten the name of those persons. Okay, but I think I found one. No, this does not do justice to it. But still, what I've said earlier, reaching out via email or LinkedIn messages or even an email, um, Google email. The first thing is, of course, to be able to connect with that person personally. It could be something you saw on their profile, maybe even not on LinkedIn. It could be on Instagram. I go the extra mile to even tag that. There was one I did recently. I added the LinkedIn, the Instagram post. I heard something she said and quoted it, and I got an interview and made it to the second stage, right? So it could be something that resonates with you. People want to feel like they're doing something, right? So make a connection with them at first and then go ahead to let them know your interest and how your skill or whatever it is, whatever skill you're currently acquiring aligns with what they are looking out for. That way, like I've been saying, it's not a magic stuff. So they may respond to you, they may not. But from my experience, 80% of the time, when you're able to connect with people personally, they do respond, right? So you can try that out and reach out to me on LinkedIn, and we can move on for any other one you have in the future. I'll be glad to help.
All right. Thank you. I don't know how quickly you can take this, but I believe in Folakemi's 1 minute response. As an entry-level PM currently interning at a startup, one of my major tasks is calling clients to onboard them. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure if this is something a PM should be doing. There's a gray area there. And sometimes I feel like I'm not functioning as effectively as I could. I just want to understand whether this is normal and how I can contribute better in my role.
Over to you, Princess.
Is this because I wanted to say this is not a LinkedIn question.
No, I think they're just asking general career.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. So Victoria, please send me a message on Slack, on LinkedIn, and let's take this offline because I even want to understand while you're doing pre-sales work. So let's move on to the next. My name is Princess Akari on LinkedIn. I should be the only Princess Akari that would come up, or I'll be because my LinkedIn is optimized.
I thought I was the only one for a long time once you when LinkedIn started.
Yeah, there are other Princess Akaris, but I'll be at the top, I promise you. So please reach out to me on LinkedIn and ask your question. We'll take it up from there. There's no other question. Yay! So does anyone have a question? Nobody. That's good. All right, thank you so much for like. Well, there were 5 people.
I had something to say. I'm so sorry. I had to.
Oh, I'm just seeing my hands up. Sorry, I was in the chat section. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Princess. Good evening, Folake. So I came in a bit late because I was in transit. So I had something like a creator tool on LinkedIn. So I wanted to know, like, I know, like, I don't know, dragging us back, but if you can just type out your name on the like in the message box, maybe I can chat you up and we can talk about it furthermore. So answering a question to a lady that said that she feels like it's not her role or something like that. The general thing I can tell aspiring product managers is that the first company you work at, even as an intern or volunteer, can either make or make you. So it's either you lose yourself or you look stupid. So in case you meet yourself in such position, it's better to resign than to try to please somebody because you are just trying to, okay, oh, I'm a product manager, I'm not a product manager. And secondly, things that you learned in your boot camp and cohorts is not how the real life works, right? Just like I put down, do MVPs, case studies, and all of those things. YouTube is the best teacher because even before I got the product management certificates, go to YouTube, ask what is a day-to-day life of a product manager, things like that, so you wouldn't stay behind. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's 8 o'clock. That wraps up our call. If you have any further questions, especially as you try to update your LinkedIn, Folakemi mentioned a lot of things from like the about section, the skill section, the experience section, what you should add, what you should take out, what you should do, how you should, keep commenting, keep liking, so that LinkedIn sees your profile as active and, it just sends it to the algorithm that, oh, this person needs to be noticed. It works, I promise you. Recruiters reach out to me almost every week, if not every week, but I mean, sometimes they are not just aligned. My profile, I'm always going there. Even if I will remove something, add something, but I'm always updating it every single week. So please keep evolving, keep updating. And if you have any other question, like I already said, please reach out to Folakemi. The link to our Slack channel is in the chat. And the link to Folakemi's LinkedIn is also in the chat. If you want to connect with other people, you can put your LinkedIn in the chat as well and connect with people who have their LinkedIn in the chat. Because Folakemi also said that you need to connect with people. You need to connect with product managers. You can't say you're on LinkedIn and trying to attract, let's say, HRI recruiters, recruiters for PM positions, and you don't even have other PMs, because sometimes you can comment on someone's post and it will alert another person that this person commented. I see a lot of unnecessary notification because LinkedIn is doing what LinkedIn is doing. So please, please, please connect with other product managers so that you have opportunities to engage on LinkedIn. I think that brings us to the end of our session today. Thank you very much, Folakemi. We are LinkedIn-fied. And if we have any further questions, we know where to go and meet you to hold your trousers. Thank you all so much. And for the 5 people, Folakemi, how do we do it? So there were 5 people in our call very early, and we promised to review their LinkedIn, and I put it on WhatsApp. So if you are among the 5, I have your first name. Please reach out to me on Slack and send your LinkedIn profile. I'll also share with Folakemi, and she'll share back. Thank you so much.
Yeah. What I'll do is that I'll create a WhatsApp group. I'll create a WhatsApp group with just the 5 of us, or you can create a WhatsApp group with just the 5 of us.
6 of us, Folakemi, 6 of us.
It's 5. 5 people. I'll add Bridget. She was there, but I removed her. So I'll add Bridget. And then you would get your free LinkedIn review and optimization. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Please join early for the next one so you win something too.
All right. Today, your LinkedIn profile is the first place to also start. You can start with posting about what we talked about today.
Exactly. That's something talking about what we just talked about today. That, oh, said we should do this, so I'm doing it. That can be your very first thing. So yeah. Sorry for the extra 3 minutes. It just had to be said. All right. Take care. Good night, guys. Bye.